Yes, yes. No pressure. Look, I got them bless you. Wonder why I'm feeling extra. Say what it do, what the business is. Folk running over what the devil sin. Shoes, pants, chest, shoulders. Get up, off me, don't get closer. It ain't over till it's over. Game breaker, big joker. Jesus like don't trip. Finna make the boat tip. Set the tone with that ice cold, but I won't slip. In my bag like road trip. Switch stands, do my dance, dog. He really don't miss. I don't need a crystal less it's hot sauce, brother. And I ain't gotta sell my soul just to pop off, brother. Ain't no demon time when you anointed. I keep it regal like movies and hop out like I'm getting dropped off, brother. Car smelling brand new. And we don't rock with the flakes, call me shampoo. Just tryna spread that light, bring them lamps through. It's got me thinking that it's nothing that I can't do. Feeling like the champ too.
We just out here praising God, looking fly, regular day.
No pressure. Look, I got them.
What's up, family and friends? Welcome back to another edition of the Wrap Up Podcast, where we dive into the latest news, sports, and culture. I am your host, Lenny B, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tapping in with me. Big shout out to those that's hitting the like button, sharing the vibes, subscribing. Remember to put God first. Let's get to the wrap-up session. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Y'all good on this Wednesday? I ain't even gonna lie to you. Your boy kind of tired. I tell you, if I didn't get a nudge, I don't think this one was gonna happen. But I'm glad we can finally make up the episode that was on that Sunday 2 weekends ago. So we get to say that we don't miss. Keep that streak going. Keep that being a thing. So we're gonna get in and see where the conversation leads us. We can be in and out. I bet you are. Yeah, so how y'all feeling this Wednesday? Y'all good? How's the week so far? How is the week so far? Almost there to Friday. What's right? Yeah, sit your butt down. What's the best day of the week? Is it Friday? Is it Saturday? What day y'all anticipate the most out of the week? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll go Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what day I anticipate the most really. That's right. Teacher Appreciation Week. Let me throw that up there. Throw that up there. Teacher Appreciation Week. How many apples did you get, Kathy? What they giving out nowadays? Peaches, pears. They still giving apples out? I ain't never give. I don't think I ever gave my teacher an apple in my life. I don't know if I. Well, actually, I did. I did have one teacher that I. Yeah, I'm a Saturday type of person too. I think. Yeah, Miss Griffin was probably my favorite teacher of all time. She was I think, fourth grade, if I'm not mistaken, maybe third grade, one of them two. So if I did give someone an apple, it probably would have been her. Oh dang, you ain't getting. Hold on, who the heck? Oh, okay. Oh, you don't get apples? What to give? Gift cards out probably now. See how the world. EBT card probably. Groceries on me, Miss Thorne. Yeah, so we got man, the news be hitting every day. Every day that pass by, when we get to our show, it be so much to kind of cover and where to go. So we definitely gotta touch the pastor. Well, shoot, both pastors. One that got the gun pulled out on him, and then actually, let me put the chat in. One that got the gun pulled on him, and the other one that told the lady to hush. I got some thoughts. At first you see it and it's just like, oh, okay, I see you, but I wanna see what y'all thoughts are from the interview that he had, and see if y'all change y'all thoughts from y'all initial one. So I pinned the link up. If y'all feel like calling up, we can do that, and then we can kind of run through the vids, run through the conversation, and kind of see where we at, and then we can kind of wrap it for today, and then we can get to the show tomorrow. So let me make sure that is good. That's up. Make sure that's good. And do I want to go here? Let's see. Let me see if I have this one up. Okay, I do. I guess we'll stay on this one. There we go. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. All right, looks like we good. All right, so we'll go with the first story. Let's see. Make sure this is straight. Yeah. Hold on real quick. Let me just do something. Shoot. All right, let me see. All right, what y'all feeling first? Y'all want to go the gun pulled out on the pastor, or the pastor telling the lady to hush? What y'all feeling first? I just got one off. Make sure this is live. I thought I did go. What y'all feeling first? Let me see. Do. I just exit out of one. Let me just pull it back up real quick. History. Let me see. That's interview. Pastor, which one? The gun pulled or the hush? Let me see. Oh, nope, that's wrong. Do this. What's up, Miss Thorne?
Good evening.
So what they giving you nowadays for teacher appreciation?
I'm not getting much anymore because I'm not in the classroom.
Oh, true.
So we got a teacher breakfast on Monday.
Right.
Today they made mocktails and they came around with a cart and snacks and they were like, you want a pina colada or a mojito or something else. Tomorrow we're supposed to get another breakfast.
Okay.
And then on Friday we're supposed to get some type of gift. One year they gave us an Echo Dot. So we'll see.
Okay.
Their gifts be all right sometimes.
Okay.
But one year they gave us a fake carnation flower. And I was like, y'all can keep that. So hopefully this year it's more of the Echo Dot vibe.
Right. Yeah. Nah, I feel you. Yeah. Let's see. So Keith said the gun first. I just got out of one of them. So let me see.
I didn't get to see it because I was waiting to get in here.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I had one, so let me make sure. So it's two versions that kind of gave the story on it. Let's see about this one right here. Okay, let me pull this up.
You know, he shot. You can hear the gun click. He shot, and he came towards me.
You got to give God thanks for giving me the courage to do what I did.
A congregation coming together to heal after a man pointed a gun at the pastor. Tonight, This man, Bernard Polite, is facing charges, but now police are investigating another crime right down the street from that church. They say last night a man was found shot to death in the home where Polite lives. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ken Rice.
And I'm Kim Gable. As Chris Hoffman reports, that pastor who had the gun pointed at him really still in disbelief. We do want to caution you, this is shocking video and the images may be disturbing to some.
Allegheny County police say the man who allegedly went to this church and pointed a gun at a pastor lives at the same house where they're investigating this homicide. Police say they were called to this house near Stokes Avenue and Colmont Street for calls of a man shot. Inside, they found 56-year-old Derek Polite dead. It's the same address as the one listed for Bernard Polite, who allegedly pointed a gun at the pastor Jesus' dwelling place just down the street in North Braddock, walking in during the sermon as it was being live streamed. Neighbors say the two are cousins.
I was really shocked. I couldn't really believe it.
Derek Polite's death is still under investigation. Bernard Polite, meanwhile, was arraigned on a charge of attempted homicide for allegedly firing the gun at Pastor Glenn Germany.
I'm blessed to still be here.
Pastor Germany was still emotional, recalling the moments of fear just 24 hours after he saw the gun pointed at him. His 14-year-old daughter was in the congregation. He thought it was the end.
Just watching my daughter break down after the fact of what happened and her seeing it, yeah, it touches you in a way.
Bernard Polite and the pastor don't know each other. He allegedly went in and out of the church a few times prior to pointing the gun at Germany. Court papers say Polite told the pastor God told him to do this. Germany believes he may have been under the influence of something.
Once we had him down, he gave me no fight. He was talking to me no different than what me and you're talking. And even when I talked to him later in the police car, he apologized to me.
At this point, the pastor doesn't plan to have extra security or police for their services. He wants the doors to be open. Pastor Germany says he forgives Polite for doing this and wants to work with him to make sure he can better his life. In North Braddock, Chris Hoffman, KDKA TV News.
What was supposed to be a...
Yeah, so it seems like he already had a death already in this house already. It seems like he killed his pops from what the report is showing. My question is, obviously it's the forgiveness, that's kind of like what we're taught, right? To forgive the ones that do you wrong. But my thing is, like, what's the difference between like forgiveness and just being, I would say, soft to the situation of just like, okay, well, like somebody slap you in the face, is like, okay, I forgive you without any repercussions of that, slap in the face or doing you wrong type deal.
So that's a loaded question, right? Because if we're talking about it from a biblical standpoint, then the Bible says that you should forgive immediately. Like immediately as the offense has taken place, that's how quickly you should forgive. The Bible also suggests that the measure in which you forgive, you will be forgiven. Now, it doesn't talk about what kind of things or instances are forgivable or things like that. It's just the measure in which you forgive. That's how you will be forgiven when you are presented to the Father. And so I know for me, there's definitely things I want him to forgive me for, right? And to sit here and say that it is easy to forgive is a lie. It can be challenging, especially if the person that you need to forgive really, really hurt you, right?
Right.
However, forgiveness is more for the other person than it is more for you than the other person. Because unforgiveness is a bitter root that starts to kill things around you. There are people that we know, like think about some of our aunties and stuff who have been holding on to something that happened in 1982.
Right.
And they can never let it go. And when you think about their quality of life, usually people who have a lot of unforgiveness, the quality of life around them also symbolizes someone who doesn't have forgiveness. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I just kind of look at his situation too. It's just like what he was saying, where like, yeah, he's gonna forgive, and he's also not going to take any type of measures to secure his church.
I do think that guy has some like schizophrenia maybe, or some
Right,
type of mental health issues, because based on the picture, the mugshot, he doesn't look well.
right,
Right? He doesn't look like someone who is sane.
right,
And so again, it might be easier to forgive someone knowing that like you're not even in your right mental, like your mental capacity is not even there.
right,
Um and then I remember hearing this one like interview. I don't know if it was an interview or article or even where I even heard it from, but I remember someone stating how, and I'm going to say her name, Kim Kardashian, talked about how hard it was for her to be in a marriage with Kanye West because he deals with some type of mental disorder. And she was like, the family that has to deal with someone who has a mental disorder, it's
right,
like sometimes like you're beyond yourself. So whoever he kills, whether it be his daddy or a brother, like, you know, that that right there is even more shocking than the church incident, right? Because
right,
that person's gone.
right.
I think this guy probably had a demonic episode, and that individual's out of here. Who knows how long he has had to deal with this person who has some type of mental health issue.
Right. So can we look at all mental health as a certain type of spirit?
In the Bible, it says it is.
So
Everything has a name.
okay, okay,
Lying is a spirit. It has a name.
okay.
Schizophrenia is a spirit. It has a name. Everything has a name.
So let me ask you this. So kind of thinking about our separating the two, right? So you have your spiritual self and your fleshly body, right? So in that case, kind of like how you're saying that you should just forgive quickly and just move on for yourself. Wouldn't you think that it's probably, if you kind of keep that mindset, is it easier to forgive for anything?
Not necessarily. Like, let me be honest with you. So, you know that I had an event recently, a women's empowerment event,
Right.
and nobody in my family showed up.
Okay.
No one. People who live 19 hours away came to this event, and people who live 30 minutes away from this event did not come.
Right.
And I didn't realize that I was bothered by it until I said it to my husband. I said, hey, nobody in my family is coming. And he was like, it sounds like you're bothered. And I was like, you know what? I am bothered. Right. But like, I didn't
Right.
realize how bothered I was until I spoke it out loud and acknowledged, like, I am bothered. The very next day, I heard a message on forgiveness.
Mm.
And that whole week, I had been fasting, preparing for this event. I had been fasting from social media. I wasn't even on the phone like that. Like, I was fat. I just really cut myself off from the world. Like, I was juicing. Like, I just really wanted to be at my like optimal level for this event, right? I wanted to
Right.
be able to hear clearly, discern clearly. And so when this message, this teaching came on the next day, I immediately knew, right, in that place that knows, within you, right? I immediately knew that if I didn't forgive quickly this offense, it would be a spot, it would be a blemish on what I'm trying to do, which is to purify myself and set myself apart for this event.
Mm.
So I immediately knew, like, you need to forgive your family for not attending this, because when you go to this event, you need to be clear minded that like you need to operate at your full potential, and you can't do that if you're withholding grudges or offense or unforgiveness within you. And so I immediately got on the line and I started releasing my family for the fact that they didn't show up for me in this way. When I started releasing, of course I started crying because I'm the Lord has made me into a baby now. I cry all the time. And so
Right.
I started crying, but I released it. As soon as I released it, I felt lighter.
Right.
And that just was 24 hours, right? So think about people who have unforgiveness that they have not dealt with, and it has been settling in their spirit for years. Right?
Right.
And so even the Bible says, in your anger, sin not. It says, in your anger, you can get angry, but while you're there, do not cause yourself to sin. In the same way, so the pastor saying, I think people think, let me just put this out there. I think people think that because you're a believer, you have to automatically yeah, it's easy for you to forgive because you're a believer. No, it's not. It's not easier for us to forgive than someone else. It's just that we know that it's the righteous thing to do. It's not even about the right thing to do because it doesn't feel right to you. It doesn't feel like the right thing to do, but it's the righteous thing to do. It doesn't become easier. You just acknowledge that this is what God would have me to do. And sometimes it's quicker to say, look, I forgive you. And sometimes your heart has to catch up to that. Like you can say, I forgive you, but your heart and your mind still need to catch up to you saying, I forgive you.
That's fair. Okay. What's up, Sean?
What's good?
Hey, man, chilling. How you feeling?
Trying to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah. So what you think about the guy pulling the pistol on the pastor?
Yeah, I saw that a couple of times, and I just saw grace because I was listening to one of the reporters, and they said that the gun jammed.
Right.
So I just really saw grace for that pastor or whoever he was. I think that mental health, like Kathy was saying, mental health is serious. And I think one of the things that in our community we don't really take it serious.
Right.
For sure.
So yeah, so you kind of talk about forgiveness as a thing that sometimes your heart has to catch up with. Actually, I guess that's some of the things that we don't really think about as much is because it feels like, for me, it always felt like your heart has to be, aligned with what you're saying. And, I guess that does make sense to understand that, like, hey, I'm going to forgive you, but it still takes time to come out of, whatever you are forgiving for.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, depending on what it is. I mean, in the case with Kathy, like she recognized it, boom, she took care of it. So it wasn't a buildup of unforgiveness. It wasn't bitterness first, and then it went into that unforgiveness mode. So I think it's important to catch it when it happens. Now, I do understand that there's a lot of things that happens to people that is really, 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 really rough. We talk about Apostle and how someone actually killed her son, and now she's in a courtroom. She's in a courtroom with the man that killed her son.
Right.
Right. And because I went to support, and this is not like confidential or nothing like this, and he has a teardrop now. He didn't have a teardrop before he did that. So we're like, yo, he got a teardrop. That means he has a body. Like what is this? And his lawyer's like, no, his grandmother died, and okay, whatever. You know,
Right.
that's what that
That's that
symbolizes.
overly positive pal that Young Thug did. That overly positive pal
Right. Right.
when they spun it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's stuff like this that is like, um man, it takes a process, you know.
Right.
You took something away from me. You know, it's a process. You know, I even think about, you know, the man that
Sean, you didn't say
the
that she forgave him though. You didn't tell the whole story.
forgave who? The guy that did it?
Yeah,
I mean, I forgave him, but I mean, it wasn't on me as much as it was on the parents. You know what I'm saying?
right. Did
So
Apostle forgive him?
yeah, she said she forgave him. She said she forgave him. You know, um, yeah, she said she forgave him, and also, and I'm say this and shut up. So the I don't remember. I don't remember if it was like 3 years ago. I believe it was around COVID where this cop came in somebody's house. She thought it was hers and killed somebody. You remember that? And
No.
the
Yeah.
the brother forgave her in the courtroom and asked the judge, "Can I give her a hug?" You know, the judge got in trouble for that. You believe that? The judge got in trouble for that. So it's like, you know, I always think about, you know, the Bible where it talks about how narrow the road is and a few finds it. That's what the words say. A few finds it. So there's a whole bunch of whole fools out here. Like I was telling Boogie a couple of weeks ago, there's a whole bunch of whole fools out here, but it's
Right.
more McDonald's, Burger Kings, and KFCs than Whole Foods.
Right.
So it's gonna always be more negative than it is positive. But you have to understand what you have to do as the positive, you know, living in this world. So
Right. Do you believe in forgiveness even if you rough somebody up that tries, like in that case, right? So if they beat that dude down, right, or even shot him, could they still claim forgiveness after they did that? Okay.
Yeah, because at that
absolutely.
point, that's self defense. They could definitely say, "I
Yeah,
forgive you. I forgive you."
and I think that's what I struggle with a lot, man. Is the forgiveness part, boy. I have a hard time letting things go, boy. I'm telling you, man. And I know that that's one of
Right.
the things that I really got to work on because I have a hard time. There's no way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is a way,
Right.
obviously. There is a way. But it'll be very hard for me to, if you wronging me to a certain extent, man, and
Right.
you pass certain lines, man, it's kind of hard, man. It's really hard. And I salute anybody that does have that strength to get up and be like, hey, I forgive you. Give me a hug. You took my baby away from me, but come on, give me a hug. That's strong.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this: is it easier for you to forgive? Because you said it's hard for you to forgive, but would it be easier for you to forgive someone who unintentionally hurt you?
Yes, I believe it's a lot easier to forgive someone who unintentionally hurts you because if you did it intentionally, it feel like you was being malicious towards me, like you did this on purpose to hurt me, and I want to hurt you back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But that's a part of me that I have to fix, man. I got to grow in that area of life.
Right. Yeah.
That's the Old Testament. An eye for an eye.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's I don't know, it's just one of them things where I just feel like a lot of times too, because believe in Jesus and trying to walk the narrow path, and uh you are quick to forgive, it almost feels like a sign of weakness when people feel like they could just you
take
know,
advantage.
take
Well, she didn't forget.
advantage.
She
Yeah,
let it
she
go.
exactly. So
No, that ain't
like
sweet.
yeah, right. Yeah, so like I have, even now, like I have like a struggle with that because I feel like you know you can kind of see people taking advantage of you feeling like, hey, okay, I understand, like forgiving, even if you're like forgiving and like your heart posture is there, but understanding that like you know what, like you did this on purpose, like your excuse or your way about it is different from your actions of what you're actually putting forth in this relationship. So I feel like sometimes like you know people of faith get taken advantage of because of that forgiveness.
But remember when Jesus was on the cross and he was being crucified, he said to the Father,
Forgive them. They don't know
he
what
said,
they.
forgive them for they know not what they do. There are people who have been so, and I'm not excusing anyone from what they have done because an excuse is a demonic lie. But what I'm saying is there are people who have had so many experiences in their life that are just so toxic that even when they try to like not be that way, they they might slip up into some toxic behaviors. And so sometimes now that I'm in this place, in this walk, I can sometimes be like, you know what? This person really does not know how to operate in goodness because the Bible says that you're not even that there's nothing good in you outside of the Father. Like you can't even be good outside of Christ. And so like I don't expect you to be a good person if you don't know Jesus. I don't. I expect you to try to be good. I expect you to attempt to be good. But I
Right.
understand that, like, even people who are in Christ fail. Even people who are in Christ have moments where they don't show up as the best people. Just recently, I was just talking to Keish because someone said that they were going to do something. A believer told me, "I'm going to do this for your ministry." They did not do it. They're a
Right.
believer. So it's like I forgave him immediately because I'm just like, okay, this individual has a character flaw that I know about. This person is not an honest person all the time. And so like once I know más o menos, I don't even know how to say that in English. Más o menos in Spanish is más o menos. Once I know más o menos like what kind of person you are, I kind of just decide, like I kind of just move according to what I know about you already. And so I'm not gonna sin against myself and hold unforgiveness when you're not in a place to do better. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna put myself in a place to take an account of unforgiveness because he says in the same way that you forgive, that same measure that you extend, I'm gonna measure you with that same measure, that same
Right.
measuring stick. So like I'm not gonna do myself for you because you don't know how to get right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And there was something you had said earlier, like, it almost feels like, people think you weak when you forgive that easy. If you forgive easy or if you're always forgiving, then they think that you're weak or you're soft. And I'm learning now, like, that's actually a strength. Like, weakness is reacting. It's actually, ignorance, and that ignorance is, I'm learning to let that ignorance leave out of me because through unforgiveness, you know, um, the reactions that you give, that's what people try to hold you to, right? They put you in that angry black woman, right? For me, I'm a black woman. Oh, she's an angry black woman. She's always angry. She's always mad at life, right? But it's like, no, like, you know what? It's going to take more out of me to, forgive you, right? Even though it seems easy, it's going to take more out of me to forgive you. And now I'm a punk, right? But I'm not a punk because I'm giving you grace. Because if I were to really react, it will be instant satisfaction, but long term, it wouldn't benefit anybody. You know what I mean? But if I
Yeah,
just let it ride, and if you
you
keep
just,
attacking me thinking that I'm soft, when God get involved, oh baby, that's between you and the Lord because you won't leave me alone. So now God got to come get you. You know?
And you don't want God to get involved because
You
for
hit it on the
some
money,
people can
Keish.
pray.
I
Come
think
on now, some
I
people
think you
can
hit it.
pray.
I think you hit it on the
Listen,
money,
but some
Keish, when you
people can
said
pray and God will
that the
out. You better
reaction.
not play with God's anointing.
Right.
I think you hit it on the money when you said that the reaction is the weakness. You, because I like to exercise balance.
Right.
So that's the weakness. You know what I'm saying? That's the weakness, bro.
Right.
I want to punch you in your forehead.
Because they know which one of your buttons to push. They know which buttons they can push.
Right. So
And if
teriyaki.
you, no, I was gonna say, and if you look at it like this, the word of God say that He won't forgive you until you forgive those that did things to you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be in this box where it's just unforgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And you're walking around with this unforgiveness.
Let me ask you a
Scientifically,
question, though, Sean. Can I punch him in the forehead and forgive him later?
you got control over that. You can't do that. But listen, scientifically, like they say, unforgiveness causes like ulcers and cancer and different things. So you got to think about that. How is it that unforgiveness can cause your body to have problems?
Right.
That means that it's that serious.
Right. Yeah, and so Teriyaki said this, and I want to see if y'all had any words for him. Let me just pull it up a little bit. So he says, I'm dealing with trying to forgive someone at the moment. It's hard when this person tried to harm me, but it's even harder when this person tried to harm my family. So like
I've been
I
there.
feel you, Teriyaki. I want to punch him in the forehead with you, man. I'm telling you, bro. But
What is up with you in the forehead?
So I just want to kind of encourage him on today. Um, I was reading how they was going to crucify Jesus, and they said, "Who do you want?" And I'm just paraphrasing. They said, "Who do you want, Barabbas or Jesus?" And they said, "Jesus, like we want Barabbas to be free." Now
Right.
Barabbas, he was a killer. Like he did some things. He deserved what that was, right?
Right.
But Jesus, he didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he he went to the cross. He died. Like I think that Mel Gibson really like caught how brutal that beating was, and he forgave them. So I get it. Like I totally get it. I totally get they try to hurt you. They try to hurt your family. I get it. But you can't heal until you release them. And it's so important that you release them because it stops certain things from flowing in your life. So yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's not an overnight thing. It's a process, but you have to you have to forgive. You have to go through that process and give them to the Lord. So I just wanted to
I
say
want to
that.
say this. I want to say this to him as well that what Sean said was good, and we have to understand that forgiveness, true forgiveness, is a supernatural. It's a supernatural thing. You have to allow God's super to rest on your natural because in us we want to hold on to like the hurt and like, nah, you played me and then you played my family. What it won't be ever is for you to do that again. That is what our natural self wants to do. That is natural. To feel that way doesn't make you a bad person. However, you do have to if and I like that he admitted that in him there's unforgiveness. That's the first step. Now that you are made aware that there's unforgiveness, put that into prayer. Because if you can't do it on your own, if there's nothing in you that can forgive this individual, then that means that it has to be a supernatural thing now. It has to be something beyond your capacity. And so now I'm going to put this in prayer. Lord, I need you to help me get to the point of forgiving this individual, and pray about it consistently until you get to the point where, you know what, I release them. Matter of fact, start praying for the individual. Pray for their character. Pray for them to be an integral person. Pray for them to come to repentance. Pray for that they will become convicted by what they did to you and your family. When you start praying for someone who has harmed you, after a while, guess what? You're not going to be able to hold unforgiveness anymore, because you're going to see that person in a different way. And so I want to encourage you. I don't know what the individual did, but I want to encourage you that you getting to a place of forgiveness is more for you than that individual. You will benefit from releasing that individual, from releasing yourself of holding on to the pain, the hurt, the shame, the embarrassment. They lied on your name. Whatever it is that they did, guess what? They did it. No one is saying that they didn't do it. That's what I hate, when people be like, oh, maybe it's your perspective. My perspective is that they hurt me, and so they did it. Like, that is what they did. And so no one's going to say that they did not do it. Matter of fact, they did do it. They did it to you, and they did it to your family. That is 100% true. Now it's up to you, though, to take charge over this unfortunate event and begin to release them from you disliking or of unforgiveness and all that other stuff. It's time for you to release them, for you, not even for them, for you to begin to release them.
And can I just say this real quick? This topic is really it's good. So my brother called me a couple of days ago, and he said that the Lord been dealing with him, and the Lord told him to ask for forgiveness and to forgive me. And I said, okay. And he was just going over something. And one of the things that he said, and this goes into like what you were saying, Lenny, in reference to like just you can hurt somebody and not even know you hurt somebody, and you just go on with life like you don't even know. And one of the things that my brother said was, he said that being that our father wasn't in our life, or his father wasn't in his life, he expected me to be his father.
Sean, I'm dealing
So
with the same thing right now, Sean. That's crazy that you think.
and that was like, please forgive me, Sean, because I was expecting you to take the role of pops, but you my brother. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you are a male figure. Yes, you did things, but you're not my dad. And that was like really powerful, because how long he been dealing with that?
Right.
For him to release that, it was really powerful for him to release that. And I believe that there's a lot of situations like that where you got to sit down in this quiet place, and nothing's wrong with being quiet, like sitting in this quiet place and letting God reveal those dots on your heart, because he will reveal them. Because my brother said he wasn't even thinking about that, but he brought it to his remembrance. 14, 13 years old, you kind of like brush things off, but you can still have unforgiveness in you and not know it until you take it to the Lord. Because just like Kathy said, it's a supernatural thing. You may not be able to pick it up, but the Father, he will say, you know what, Boogie? Yo, the reason you do this, or the reason you think like this, or the reason you did this is because of this, or because of this, and because of this. The reason you treat your wife like this is because of this. The reason you treat your mother like this is because of this. And it's like, man, I didn't even know.
Right.
Man, it's so crazy that you say that, Sean, because I have a 20-year-old brother, right? When he was probably about 10 years old, his dad passed. And I'm the oldest. So in his mind, I'm supposed to be his dad, but I'm not your dad. I'm your brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And he doesn't speak to me now. We haven't spoken in probably about 6 months. Him and my mom got into a big argument probably about 6 months ago, and he called me and let me know how bad of a brother I was because I wasn't the father figure that he needed growing up, and we haven't spoken. And it's crazy that you say that, man, because I feel like I took it as boy, get out my face, don't invite me to the pity party. But
Right.
I think about it every day. Every day I get up, I think about it, man. Like, dang, man, this boy don't speak to me. And maybe I could have done better, or maybe I could have, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy that you shared that because that's the same exact thing that I'm dealing with my younger sibling, man.
Yeah, I guess it's just the sometimes it's the untold expectations that we may put on people and people may put on us. And a lot of times in those expectations we fall short, but it's just like, should we be having expectations on people? Like, where does that draw the line of, you know, the relationship part of, you know, just going through and understanding that the person is going to sometimes fall short, and how can we get past this obstacle maybe?
I think our expectations have to be realistic. I think we have a lot of unrealistic expectations. And I think what we're kind of segueing into this conversation is definitely, yeah, untold expectations are sometimes the killer of relationships. Because in my mind, you should be doing this and you're not doing it, but I never said anything. So I just feel
Right.
like, yeah, you should be doing that. You should know. And it's like, nah, I don't know. And I don't assume that anybody knows. And so whatever I expect from you as my friend, from you as my brother, from you as my sister, I try my best to make it very clear so that later on I don't have these qualms about you because you didn't do what you did, right?
Right.
When my mom told me that she wasn't coming to the event, I told her, I said, you know, I said, I would love to have you there. I'm actually kind of saddened that you won't be there.
Right.
That was an expectation that I let her know from the get. Like, I'm going to be sad if you're not there. What I didn't know is that I was already hardening my heart towards the situation because I was like, dang, none of my family's going to be there. And I think that that takes a level of maturity that many of us have not tapped into. When I can say, hey, Lenny, as my bro, like, this is the way I want us to relationship. That's a different level of maturity than saying, okay, well, Lenny didn't call me yesterday and it's teacher appreciation week, so now I have something against him. I have a ought against him.
Right.
Well, you never said nothing. You didn't say that. You weren't clear about what you needed in this relationship.
True.
And I think that is where many of us need to grow to.
Yeah, the communication part, you know, just
Oh, happy Teachers Appreciation Week, Kathy, from your
I
favorite
know.
cousin.
Say happy, exactly. Say happy Teacher Appreciation Week to your favorite teacher. Okay, I'm your favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher name is Miss Shepard. She has to be 106 by now. So.
Oh, you can go ahead, Keish.
I was just gonna say, a lot of times when we are dealing with unforgiveness, a lot of times we're offended by whatever has transpired. So when we choose to forgive them, sometimes I will speak for myself. You know, you feel guilty, like, man, now we got to go back relationship in the same way. But sometimes the relationship may not go back the same way that you anticipated. But it doesn't mean that you don't forgive them. And then that person tries to make you feel guilty, like, oh, well, we used to do this, we used to do that. You don't forgive me. No, I do forgive you. But now I have to move differently to protect my peace.
That's real. When Keisha gets so smart, that's real.
And I want to say this, because it goes into maturity, it goes into communication, for sure. But just just listening to, just looking at life and different things that I have experienced, different things that I have seen. Um, I think that God will put you in certain relationships, certain situations where you can't leave. And you have to truly understand what the Lord has for you, but that comes with being mature. Because sometimes the Lord is trying to show you something about you and your character, because it's easy to just leave. It's easy to just leave, but the Lord is saying that you're he's wanting you to install something in this individual. You have to truly have the fruit of the spirit. You have to have the love, you have to have the joy, you got to have the peace, you got to have the long suffering. You know what I'm saying? So you can deal with this individual, and then when he release you from this individual, then you're released. And I just want to say that because I think sometimes, it's almost like the relationships and the marriages now. It's like, oh, this not working out, I want to get divorced. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. God will put you in relationships that is supposed to be fruitful, but because it's a hiccup, or sometimes I think that people don't truly know how to be a friend. They don't know what a friend is.
100% don't know how to be a friend. 100%. People do not know how to be a friend. 100%.
They don't know how to be a friend.
So what?
So you can't expect anybody to be a friend if they don't know how to be a friend. And just like Kathy was saying, you have to tell them like what you want, what you expect. You know what I'm saying? Communication is key. Communication is one of the first things that break up marriages, and it's the same thing with relationships. Communication. You have to communicate.
So what does being a friend look like? What does, like, if you're saying that a person don't know how to be a friend, what does that look like?
I'm gonna write a book, man, because I'm the best friend anybody could ever have, man. Write a book.
Right.
Teach these
Bestseller.
guys how to be a real friend, man.
Right.
I measure friendships according to covenant friendships that I have learned about now in the Bible. I didn't know about them prior to my spiritual walk, but now that I know them, I measure every encounter I have with an individual, whether it's someone that I've known from my childhood, whether it's a new friend, an old friend, an acquaintance. Not even everybody's not even a friend. Some people
Right.
are constituents. Some people are
Associate.
comrades, right? A constituent is someone that you're friends with because you guys dislike the same thing. We both dislike our boss, so we became friends off of the fact that we dislike our boss,
Right.
right? A
Right.
comrade is someone that you're friends with because you like the same things. We both like the Cowboys, so we friends off of the fact that we like the same sports team. But a friend, a covenant friend, now that's a different kind of level of relationshiping. Because a covenant friend, if you're my covenant friend and I'm your covenant friend, that means that there are times and there are going to be seasons where I will deny myself so that you can meet your potential. Now, if I'm not willing to do that for you, then you're not a friend. You might be a comrade or a constituent or an associate. I might be friendly with you and not be your friend. But when we were little and our parents used to be like, those are not your friends. And we said, no, mommy, those are my friends. I can tell you how many friends I have in real life now.
Yeah.
Not many.
Right.
And as you grow, right, you start, and this is coming from me where I thought that I had 672 friends. As you grow and people aren't on the same accord as you, or they're not into the same type of things that you're into, and you find a lot of the things that they do not right, kind of right, you kind of lose interest in being friends with people as well. Like, I find myself now where I be having conversations with some of my people, and I be like, man, this dude ain't even, our brains ain't even on the same type of, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, not on a
Right.
smart level, not on a smart or dumb level, but we ain't even thinking about the same things in life right now.
Right.
And you gotta sometimes, man. I'm having a spot right now, man. I'm in a place right now where I'm kind of separating myself from all of it, trying to figure who I am. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask y'all this: do you feel like it's do you have to cut off, or is it a natural separation from the people that you
I feel
just
like it's a natural
It,
separation, man.
it depends. It depends on the person and the situation. Some people need a cutoff, and some people it's a natural separation. But the best advice I can give you is that if you think you have a lot of friends, write those names in pencil, because over time will tell you who you're going to erase. Write it in pencil. Don't even write it in pen.
right?
Write those names. If you feel like I have a lot of friends, write all those names in pencil, because time, situations, and circumstances is going to tell you who your real friend. There's a lot of people who are friends with you while you up. There's not a lot of people that will hold you down while you down.
Right.
You know who a good friend is? Tell a friend that you got a business deal coming and it's worth $1 million. See how many people cheer for you. Tell your friend that you're launching a new business. See how many people will pay full price for your product. Tell your friend that you are launching a podcast. See how many people tap in, tune in, hit like, and share your content. That I'm telling you, life and circumstances will begin to show you who your real friends are. And so sometimes
And
it is a natural progression. You'll know.
Right.
and I want to say something. So Kathy hit on it. Like, so it is definitely a thing where it just happens. Like, it's a growing apart, right? And then it's a letting go, right? It's one or the other. But this is amazing how God works. He will give you a friend, like a true friend, and you may not have been friends in high school, but now, like, you guys are friends. And it's he'll give you a friend that you wouldn't think would be your friend.
Right.
Like, someone that you would not pick to be your friend. Someone that might wear something that
Reeboks.
you don't.
You gotta be stopped. You gotta be stopped. You gotta be stopped.
Reeboks.
Let me throw my Reeboks away in the closet.
Reeboks.
Yeah.
Yo, but yeah, that's it, man. Somebody, and those are a lot of times the ones that you don't think would be your best friend would be your best friend. It's the ones that that you might think is kind of strange, that will be like your best covenant friend.
Right.
And sometimes your family turns into your bestest of friends.
Yeah.
You
True.
see what I'm saying?
True.
Amen.
Or not. It all depends.
Right. Yeah. True.
It all not. You know what I do now though? Every time I meet someone new, I always now ask the Lord, what is their purpose in my life?
Right.
Right away. What is their purpose? Because at this table where we're eating, am I serving and you're eating? Or are you serving me and I'm eating? Are we mutually serving each other? Because it goes back to those expectations. You see, once you know what kind of person that person is supposed to, what kind of spot that person is supposed to hold in your life, you will understand more and more like, oh, this person didn't serve me, but I'm not even mad because I already know that in our friendship or in this relationship, I'm supposed to serve them. They're not supposed to really serve me. I'm not eating off of them. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
once that's clear to you, then you could start putting people in the proper categories. The problem is that people got people who they feel like, oh, he wasn't there for me. Well, he was never supposed to be in that category. He never even showed you that he was capable of doing that. Why did you put that person there? Because you did it off of what? Based on what metrics were you using? You were based on your own thoughts. This is not on your own understanding. And so every time I meet somebody, I just met this this other instructional coach this year. And as soon as I met her and I got real friendly, real fast at a PD, at a professional development. I mean, you know, when you meet some people and you're like, man, it seems like we've known each other. Like the vibe is there. Like it feels like we've known each other for a very long time. Right. And so it felt like that. Like, wow.
It's
it
always
felt like that.
work.
And so as soon as I got home, I presented her to the Lord. I said, Lord, what kind of friendship are we supposed to have? What kind of relationship are we supposed to have? And the Lord told me in this season, she's going to need your counsel. That's it. So guess what happens?
She smokes crack.
She hits me up for counsel. And I don't get mad. I don't say, well, she never asked me about my day. She doesn't ask me about my life because she's not supposed to. Right. He said that she is going to reach out to you for counsel. And so when she does it, it doesn't irk my nerve. It doesn't vex me because I already know that that is the relationship we're supposed to have.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's kind of those, like we said in the beginning, just those unrealistic expectations that you put on someone that's not their role in your life. Yeah. So before we get to the to the hush preacher, I wanted to show y'all. So in LA, there has been a lot of mental illness. A lot of people, bus drivers getting
Wait, Lenny.
Go ahead.
2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend at the women's empowerment event, this lady came in the door hunched over. Keisha and I thought,
yo,
She might have been on that stuff.
She might have been on that train.
She might have been on that stuff, dude. She walked just like that.
Might have been.
Whoa. I see Keisha's frame up here, but I hear her voice.
Might have been on that train. Might have been on that train.
That freaked us out.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Back busted.
Is your back okay? She was normal. She was just being extra. She was just like, oh, the Spirit of the Lord is so heavy. It made me like, and I'm just like, girl, you got to stop it because there's people really hunched over that got drug problems. I thought you was one of them. I thought you was one.
Right. Hey, but if she was on it, at least she's, I mean, was she all mentally there?
I believe that she has some, I think she's an interesting personality.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right.
She loves the Lord, though. I know that much. She loves the Lord.
That's all that matters, right? Yeah, so in LA, a lot of metro workers and bus drivers have been getting beat up, and the unions and things like that have been calling like for the city to kind of get involved and help the bus drivers and metro workers. So I kind of wanted to show this so you guys are aware if you're ever in LA.
A bus driver under attack. A woman is caught on camera going after the driver of an LA Department of Transportation bus. Just one in a series of attacks on drivers in the last several weeks. KCAL's Lauren Posen is live in South LA with the story. Lauren?
Well, Juan, that suspect is still in jail tonight. The attack happened right across the street from where we are. It's also right across the street from this police station here. Now, the Dash service operates mostly throughout downtown and cities around here, and it's run by LADOT, not Metro. Still, riders and drivers on both transit lines say they're scared. But unfortunately, there's really not an easy fix to solve this problem. It's happened again, this time to an LA Dash bus driver. A homeless woman went on the attack Sunday near South Central Avenue and Jefferson Boulevard. LA Department of Transportation says the woman became angry with the driver after she told her she didn't have to pay for the fare. Dash buses
I'd
are
throw
free
the
to
bus
ride.
right to the police station.
Police say the woman also attacked a passenger and one of their officers. This attack comes just days after dozens of Metro Transit operators staged a sick-out because of the rising number of assaults on drivers. Riders are nervous. Victor Perez says his safety is in jeopardy. He wants to see more security, saying it's scary with drivers and passengers being attacked. Safety is top of mind for both agencies. LADOT saying in a statement, the safety of passengers and drivers on our transit services is of paramount importance to LADOT. LADOT is evaluating options to improve security, including strengthening existing barriers separating drivers and passengers. Metro adding its multi-layered safety plan is in full effect, including approving larger plexiglass barriers to give drivers more protection. In a statement, Metro said in part, transit security officers are now riding the top 10 bus lines that have experienced greater number of operator assaults. Metro's law enforcement partners have increased their presence on the Metro rail system, including riding on trains.
Yeah, so that's what's going on in LA. This lady right here, she had mental illness. Of course, you can kind of see that. And
The bus driver was holding her own, though.
Hey,
She probably
hey.
forgave her afterwards, but she was holding her own.
Yeah, I'm gonna forgive you after this
I
behind
don't
whooping
know.
I get.
I don't know. You couldn't be a judge in a fight, Kathy. She was getting beat up. But look.
No, she was getting, yes, the homeless person was getting her, but she was hitting her back, kicking her in the stomach.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
she
look
was
though,
holding her
I
own a
never
little
knew
bit.
that. I never knew that LA called theirs Metro, but I work for the transit system here in DC, which is called Metro as well. But we 82% black.
Right.
My company, the transit system in the District of Columbia the workers are 82% African American, and we have a record for sending you upstairs and coming back to work the next day.
Right.
Our union is good.
Don't speak on behalf of Metro. You simple.
They do
You
it.
simple boy. You
Man,
simple.
that lady attacked that lady in the train station last year. She put that knife up in her and was back at work tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
We ain't going for it here in DC. LA need to. That's why you gotta hide. You got to hide them blacks, baby. We ain't going for it.
Right. Yeah.
It seemed like that if that community was Hispanic though, like a Hispanic, maybe predominantly Hispanic community.
Right. Right. Well, you know, LA definitely has a lot of Hispanic there already. So, yeah. So let's.
So do you think the cops are gonna do something? The Metro cops?
No, so as I was kind of looking at that story, the bus drivers from the 80s said they was going through that same problem. I will say that it's good that they have those barriers now, and you know, they do have a officer on the top 10 lines that they were saying that have incidents. So I mean, that might help.
Them dudes ain't security guards though, Kathy. They're real police. You
No,
know what
I
I'm
know.
saying?
No, I know. My uncle's a Metro Police. My uncle's a Metro Police.
Yeah, they
So
real
I know
police
they don't
officers.
play. But are
Their
they going to be
jurisdiction
dressed
just
as Metro
stands
Police, or are they
on
going to be
property.
like U.S. Marshals and be incognito?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, that I would think they would probably be in uniform, but you know, they probably should go you know, kind of disguised a little bit to kind of see, you know,
Ride the bus on some undercover stuff, maybe.
Right.
If I was that lady, I'd have drove the bus straight into the police station.
It was right there too. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. The police
I'd have drove that joint straight through the police station. Brush, I'm being attacked.
Right. I actually wanted to show this story before we got to the hush pastor. Yeah, this one was.
He called that man the hush pastor.
Oh yeah, let's do that one. I want to do that.
Yeah, I want to show y'all this one real quick. This one was pretty wild.
In this police affidavit, alleged And this police affidavit alleges 28-year-old Stephen Cugini, a now suspended York City police officer, raped and sexually assaulted his girlfriend's one-year-old baby girl over the past several days. Cugini is locked up in the Dauphin County Prison on $200,000 bail. Court documents allege Stephen Cugini committed the crimes in Elizabethville, Dauphin County, and Springettsbury Township, York County, during the past several days. The abuse caused significant injuries to the baby. A Pennsylvania State Police affidavit shows a daycare worker at the YMCA in Halifax noticed serious injuries to the 13-month-old baby girl after she was dropped off Monday morning. The worker called police. The court records show a trooper found bruises all over the baby, including the face, head, and vaginal area. She was taken to Penn State Hershey Medical Center, where a doctor found the baby's leg was broken and she was the victim of sexual violence. The baby's mother initially told police the bruising happened during a fall in the bathtub at their Elizabethville home and later due to an accident with the family dog. Police say Cugini made similar statements, but investigators revealed text messages retrieved from the mother's phone show Cugini acknowledging responsibility for the baby's bruises. The affidavit states Cugini told police on Tuesday the injuries occurred while he was caring for the child alone. York's Police Commissioner Michael Muldrow sent a statement to News 8, reading in part, "If the allegations are founded, trust and believe I'll be the first to take swift and definitive action against them."
Now, let me ask you a question, Sean. How do you forgive that? Ain't no forgiveness. I'm going to harm you.
Supernaturally. Is that supernatural forgiveness?
Yeah, you're right. That's a policeman at that. That's wild.
You gotta, yeah, you gotta ask God to help you. You have to.
A lot of help. A lot of help. Cause
can't do it by yourself, man.
But that man is a sicko.
1 year
Where
old.
Rob at? He's a sicko. Sickerton.
Absolutely.
Oh, sickerton. That's true. That like we talking about a 1 year old baby, man. Like that's wild. Like we got.
I don't even know these people. I'm in here hot. I'm mad. I'm in here mad, man.
We got some real sicks out there.
I mean,
man.
you have to be really sick to look at a baby and want to do something with a
Don't
baby.
say it, Kathy. Don't say it, Kathy. I'm in here. Boy, I gotta pause my mic.
Right. Yeah, it's yeah, that's a tough one. But the wild thing about it is, as we go through these episodes, this is literally happening on a monthly basis. You know, so yeah, it's unfortunate. But
Are there any trends? And I guess the trend is socially economically disadvantaged
right.
people, right? Are the ones
Yeah.
that we're seeing this predominantly happen. Doesn't matter the race. I think like your social economic status is what's going to determine some of these things, right?
It definitely doesn't have anything to do with race, because I mean we've literally covered every race with the same type of offenses. I always like to go back to social economics. This one was a policeman, but a lot of times you can kind of pinpoint it to a certain class of people per se. It's just unfortunate.
And this is why education is important.
Yeah.
A quality education is important. If you give everyone a quality education, there's so much ignorance and like we have this thing now in schools where how when you look at test scores, they used to do it by race. Like
right.
Black kids, how did they test? White kids, how did they test? Asian kids, how did they test? They still do it that way, but now they're focusing more on social economic.
Right.
The socially economic people, right? The kids that are in that trend are our homeless population. We have homeless population at my school. The different economically disadvantaged, sometimes single parent households that are making $40,000 or less, right? And if you think of,
homeless population as in knowing that the parents are homeless?
right, they're living in shelters, or they're living in like halfway, like, you know, when you're
Yeah.
waiting for housing or
Right,
something
right.
like that. Yeah, they built one of those housing like homeless shelters near my school. So now you have like these upper class DC Washingtonians and these economically displaced families all in one school, right? And so when we look at the trends for behavior, referrals, incidents, and out in school suspension, out of school suspension, when you look at who is in that category, the majority of the people in that category, the majority of the students are students who have some kind of social economic barrier. Or every single time.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Yeah. So how do y'all do y'all actual zoning? So how does a family that is homeless get zoned to your school?
Well, if the
They
homeless
don't. They
shelter
can
is
go to
right
any
by her
school in
school,
DC.
Oh.
They can go to any school in DC.
Okay. I was gonna say because I thought the homeless shelter being
Now
right by your school that is
the one close to us, right? The one close to us, they will automatically tell them like this is the school that's in our zone. Right. But even if they get housing later on in the school year, you don't kick them out. Gotcha. If you are considered displaced family or military, usually you can go to any school in DC that you choose, even if they find housing later on or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so
right, because you want to disrupt their transitions as much as possible, because they transition all the time.
Right.
So
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about Hush and see what y'all thoughts are.
And I'm always going to respect him and support him.
Can we meet him?
Oh, I would love to.
All right.
Yes.
Come on out, Tampa. Please welcome Pastor Keon Henderson back to the show. Come on out. I say welcome back to the show because you were on our show figuring out your faith,
That's
you know,
right.
and I love that Shawnee said you do this great job of merging culture, meaning the world, with what happens within the confines of the church.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your mission. How did you go viral this weekend?
Oh my God! Oh, the noise.
Can I show it?
Yeah,
okay.
show it. You can
Before
show
we
it.
talk about how amazing your beautiful first lady is, I'm on my social media. My cousin lives in Houston, and Katie, she says, Pastor Keon is trending. I was like, what happened?
Right.
She said, go on the Shade Room. I said, the Shade Room? Let me play this moment. Let's play it.
Hey. Stop her. Hush, hush.
So, the backstory was there was a woman, and you could hear her making audible sounds. You turn around, you say, that hush.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, don't man me.
Yeah.
I always tell people a snippet of video is not the total story.
Yeah.
So tell me what happened there.
Well, you know, social media is into cuts, not context.
Yeah.
And every suggestion that I got from every naysayer, I've already done. This is a 4-year battle, right?
Oh, this is ongoing.
This is ongoing. So I've already
Literally.
talked to her personally. I'd already had ushers go up to her. I've already had prayer warriors. I've had everything. So she did it publicly after being asked not to.
What is she? Is she crying? Is it an emotional break?
Well, you know, as a pastor, I know the difference between disturbance and worship. And what people have to understand is that every time you hear a noise in church, it isn't worship. And so there has to be order. For instance, it's okay to applaud in this room right now. But if somebody got up and just started clapping right now, I'm sure somebody would bring order to the room.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I brought order to the room so people could hear God and not her. And I'd do it again if I needed to.
Wow. I think I see full circle, Sean.
So that's basically, you know, what happened.
when I seen the clip at
Yeah.
first, Lenny,
Right.
I seen it a few days ago, probably about a week or so ago. But when I seen it, I was like, man, that's rude.
Right.
That's mean. But now that I got that, he explained it.
Right.
He broke it down. I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this,
He
like
said he wants to hear from the hush lady though.
right? Should we hear her side of the story too, or does that matter?
Absolutely. There's always two sides to the story.
Okay. Yeah.
Her personally.
Say again, Kathy.
I don't need to hear from her personally because I'm gonna tell you something. Before he did the hush, before he did that moment of hushing, her noise did not go with the atmosphere that was currently in the room. No one else. Usually when the spirit is calling for that kind of noise, there's more than one person doing it because it's the same spirit at work. She was the only one doing that. And I'm like, oh, maybe she's going through deliverance. But he said he's been going through this for 4 years. Now,
Yeah, that's what I say. Now that he
maybe she
explained,
needs
like,
deliverance. Yeah, maybe she needs deliverance and hasn't been delivered. It reminds me of the scripture, Sean. Remember that scripture in the book of Acts when Paul and them were coming into the city and there was a woman operating as a medium, as a witch, and she was like, "These are real men of God," and she was screaming, "These are sons of God." And he was like, "Oh, you impure spirit, get up out of here." So that's true. Like there are noises that sound like God that may not be like God, and only certain people with the discerning ear can decipher what that is. If you said that you've been dealing with this individual for 4 years and this is what they do, I don't know.
and that's why
I
I
don't
get his
know.
point when he was like context and clips, man.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
when I first seen it, I was disturbed with this man.
Right.
I know, man. She feeling it. She got the spirit. Why you telling her shut up, man? What's wrong with you? He done broke it down, man. This is 4 years, man. I done had ushers
But
talk
when
to
he
her.
told her to hush, she hushed. The spirit is making you make those noises. No one can tell you to hush. You ain't gonna hush because you're not even there anymore. You're having a
Out about her.
spiritual experience. So if I tell you hush, you're not gonna hush. You're gonna get it until it's out. But when he said, "Hey, hush," she hushed.
Now he sick the goons on her. He said, "Get her, get her." He knew
But
exactly
my
who it
question
was. That
is,
church big as it was. He knew
is,
exactly who it was. Get her.
my question is, she seems like she's part of the praise and worship team. So I there has to be. I know he said they already had conversations. There has to be something in her foundation that's making her behave
That's
this
the
way.
pastor. Get
Because
you how to-
if she's part of the praise and worship team, then that means that she's a member. Not just is she a member. She's not just somebody that's going. She's a part of the praise and worship team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Teriyaki says, does the pastor get to dictate how the spirit touches an individual?
Sometimes they do. I know that's hard to hear, but I've been in places, Sean, you've probably been in places too, where we have heard people in the spirit do certain things, and my spirit was like, that's not of God. And so sometimes it is the discernment. And so that's hard to explain. Only him and the Lord can really know the intricacies of this situation. So I don't want to give my opinion, but I will say that there have been times where I have been in certain worship services, or I have been in certain situations, certain spiritual element like atmospheres, and there are people who are making clicking noises and doing certain things, and it's not the
Hey,
Holy
Kathy,
Spirit
I
telling you
have
to do
to
those
bring it
things.
up, Kathy. We went to a baptism one time, Kathy. You remember? And it was a
Yes.
man running around the church, running laps, screaming out, "Woo, woo!" Lenny, he was literally running laps. Lenny,
Boy, I thought it was.
was you there, Lenny?
He did about 10 laps. He did about 10 laps.
Boy, I thought it was Ric Flair.
Man, this church was huge. He was running laps with his shirt off. Lenny.
Yeah, see that. I mean, yeah. So you saying in this instance he was running around the church and saying, calling out the nature boy woo.
Yeah, I'm not lying. Kathy was there.
Okay, and so Eric, when he did that, what did your spirit say about that situation?
I wasn't. I don't even think that I would be in the right place at that time to make a decision. I wasn't living right. You know what I'm saying? So I had
Because
no
to be
opinion.
honest with
I
you,
just said,
I was
I just knew.
disturbed.
I
I was
just knew. I was like,
disturbed.
hey,
I've seen
this
people
ain't
run
right.
around the church. I was
I was like, hey, this
disturbed
ain't
when I
right.
seen that.
Literally, I was like, I know this ain't
Disturbed.
right. I'd have been in churches before. I know this something ain't right over here.
Right.
And then give it some time. Tell him the rest. After that, the pastor, the whole church was, to be honest with you, the whole church was, it was a no for me.
It's a
After that,
zoo.
the pastor was asking for $1,000 seed offering and stuff like that. I mean, it was the whole church, throw the whole church away. And so what gives the pastor a right to tell somebody to hush? The same way that it gives us a right when we go into some spaces, some religious entities, and we're like, nah, this ain't it. It's the same way. Your spirit don't take to that.
Right. That pastor asking for $1,000. What do you Is there ever a time that is there ever a time that a pastor, and I know this is tricky, but is there ever a time that a pastor is going to give out an exact number saying it's from God?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, what do you mean exact number?
So kind of like how you saying, hey, not being funny about the situation, but I know it's 5 people in here that got $1,000, that's supposed to sow $1,000. Cause that turns off a lot of people.
That to me is really good. It's when you force people and you say your level of your faith is okay. So my sister went to a church. She was just telling me about this the other day, and she visited a friend's church, and the pastor was asking for a $500 seed from every member. The one individual went up there and just gave $100. Like, I only got $100. The pastor said out in front of everybody, your faith is too small. You should have gave that 500 publicly.
And that
I was
kind
just
of
like,
and
oh,
and I ain't
he
trying to be
tripping.
funny, but that's kind of what turns people away, right? That's kind of what deters people from getting into a church and actually being, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? My pocket's too small, not my faith, brother. This is what I got.
Because a
So,
seed and a tithe is different.
Right.
So,
A
yo,
seed
Lenny, why are you
and a
doing this,
tithe is
man?
different.
What's that?
Why are you doing this, Lenny?
What I do?
So this is all right. The whole money situation is a big thing.
Okay.
It's a big thing because people from the world don't understand money, right? And how it works in the kingdom, like when it comes to church. And I think that is one of the things that distracts people from even coming to church, right? So let me say this. I do not believe that somebody, a pastor, or whoever's doing the offering can say, I need a line of 500, 1,000, 50, 20. I don't believe that. Now, I'm still growing in Christ. Maybe something would change later on. But as of right now, I don't believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I don't believe that. Because if you're saying there's a line for 500, 1,000, 20, and whoever else got anything, just bring it up.
Right.
What do you mean? Whoever got anything else, just bring it up. So we don't care about the people that got whatever else. Just bring up whatever else you got. Absolutely not. Now, do I believe that the pastors can say, listen, the Lord is asking me, the Lord is saying that you know, we're building this church, and he's telling me 500. You know, if you guys can help me get 500, cool. I don't see a problem with that, because he's not telling everybody, you know, hey, everybody come up here. If you got 500, stand on that side. If you got 200, stand on this side. If you got 800, stand on this side. God is going to bless you. No, he's not saying that. The pastor or whoever's doing the offering is saying, look, the Lord is dealing with me in reference to $1,000, you know, and $1,000 is what we're gonna need for today. I want you guys to give your very best. Give not
That's a
what you.
different message. That's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
message.
But
that's
it's
different. And
but
and
And
that
let
and
me
it's
say something. I love the Lord. I believe in Christ. I believe in tithing. I believe that God has called me to be a tithe payer. I believe that God is going to do great things because of my obedience. Because tithing is a part of your obedience. It's a form of worship. What I don't like, because I know that God has called me to finance the kingdom. I know God has called me, this is an individual thing, to finance the kingdom. He has dealt with me in this area. God, not a pastor, not a preacher. No one has it. God has dealt with me in this area. Because I know that I am tasked with financing the kingdom, what I dislike the most is when somebody tries to emotionally trigger me to give. Because you don't have to emotionally trigger me to give. Because I know that God has called me to finance the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? And so when people do those emotional triggers, like sow $100 worth of faith, what is sowing $100? What? That's not. No, you don't got to do that. For people who God is called to
yeah,
truly
yeah.
tithe, you don't have to
hmm
do that.
hmm
Because
and
there'll be
another
times
thing.
where I wake up and the Lord says, "And now give this to that person," and I'm like, "Oh, no one has to emotionally trigger me to do it,
It's
because
the spirit.
that's how he deals with me." During Hanukkah this past year, there was a prophetic word towards the year that we were coming into in the Jewish calendar. I'm a believer. I'm a believing believer. I believe in Christ, but there's certain things that I believe in that still work. And so I observe Hanukkah. I observe Rosh Hashanah. I'm not Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, excuse me, the Feast of Tabernacles. I observe those holidays because those were holy days that God Himself created, not the things that people celebrate nowadays. I'm talking about God Himself created this holiday, right? This holy day. And they were talking about the 4 doors. The season that we were coming into was the 4 doors. The Lord told me to sow $44. I took my $44 and I sowed it. That's not my tithe. That's a seed. I
Right.
sold my $44. Now I then went, because I have a Bible study group, and I said, women of God, the Lord is calling me to.
Hold on. God didn't call her just now, did she? Hey, where she
I
at?
don't know. I pay $44 on that Wi-Fi bill.
Yeah, you better put 44 in that. All right, she back.
All right.
Oh, see, 44 didn't deposit yet. Come on, man, put that 44 on the bill real quick. 44. All right, there we go.
44 on the Xfinity.
You see how the enemy tried it?
Hey, I
I'm gonna
see
say
it.
this and I have to go.
Yeah.
So I said, the Lord is calling me to do this. This is why I'm doing it. Take it to the Lord and see what He says to you. Some people sold, some people didn't. But no one should ever be forced to do anything. Everything is led by the Spirit of God. Because if the Spirit of God wants you to sow $1,000, no one has to emotionally trigger you to do it.
Yeah.
Yo,
Everything should be
listen.
led.
Yo, listen.
All right, I love
Kathy,
y'all. I'm gonna
yo.
be out, but I might come back.
Okay.
So listen, man. I've been in churches. Yo, Boogie, listen to me. Listen. I've been in churches where I went up to give a offering, and I had a $20 bill, and I wanted to give 10, and I was like, "Can I get 10 back?" And they was like, "No, we don't give change."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no, brother, ain't no change. Brother, go have a seat.
Oh my God. I was not ready for that. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yo,
Wait,
true story.
wait, can you repeat that?
Yo, I went
don't
up
say it
there,
again.
and I was so confused. Like, I went up there, and they was like, "Yo," I was like, "Yeah, I just want 10 back." And the nurse and the usher was like, "We're not giving you $10 back. We keeping that whole 20."
Go have a seat, sir.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
we're not giving you that $10 back. Then I've been in churches where they said, "Okay, we'll bring you your $10 back," and I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Oh boy.
Yo, son,
Oh shoot.
this money thing in churches is really, really rough, and you got to be mindful of what you're doing. I've been in churches where,
Oh man.
like, they have said, "Okay, we taking up offering," right? They're crying. They
Oh
said,
my
"Okay,
God.
we taking up." They said, "Okay, we taking up offering." All right. So they take up an offering. They be like, "Come on, y'all dig deeper. Y'all dig deeper." So they come on back up. All right. So everybody, it's 3 times. It's the third time. All right, we need $88 more. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Dig deeper.
Right.
They say, "Okay, well, if you if you want to give later, we $40 short. If you want to give later, you just come to the back office and let us know."
Right.
Now we taking up the speaker offering. What? We just took 15 minutes to get $100, and now you taking up a speaker offering after you came back 3 times and you drained everybody the first time for the regular offering. Now you taking up a speaker offering. So I have seen it all, man. I have seen it all. I have seen pastors look so sad coming to church, and when offering time come, man, these dudes jumping up and they happy.
Right.
Come on, y'all, let's give God a praise. Yeah.
Right. Right. Nah, it's that's oh my gosh. That was a crazy segment just then. Whew, man.
Yeah, that was a wild joke.
Yo, they kept my 10, son.
You better start getting changed before you go to church.
Hey, Sean, I don't think you seen Teriyaki when he said this. This man, that's crazy. Oh man.
But I have when my oldest, my 13-year-old was a baby, me and Caressa was in church every Sunday. And I really would like to find this lady, man, but a lady handed my wife a note as we was leaving church. And we got in the car and we opened the note and we read the note and it was like, "This is such a beautiful thing that you're doing. I love that you had this baby in church and y'all are such a young couple. And y'all in here every Sunday. I watch you guys every Sunday." And in the envelope, the lady gave us $300.
Wow.
I've never seen nothing like that before in my life. And what's crazy is this is how you know the Lord works, man. We was behind on the bill by guess how much?
$300.
Come on.
$300.
Crazy.
Come on, man.
Look at God.
Crazy.
I
That's
tell that
crazy.
story all the
That's
time.
God, man. That's God.
Yeah, so
She wrote us a long letter, man. We read the letter, and it was just pretty much saying how beautiful it is that we're such a young couple. You know, we was early 20s,
right.
very early 20s. I was probably 21, 22. And Cornell was 1, not even 1. He was a baby, man. And she was just like, it's beautiful. I love the way that you guys come in here every Sunday, bring the baby. And that lady gave us $300, man. And I never ever forgot that, man. That was over 10 years ago. I never forgot that.
Right. Yeah. No, that's one of them things, and I guess it's kind of like Sean and what Kathy was saying is just the discernment of understanding when it's coming from God and when it's coming from just the man trying to play on your emotions and just say, hey, we need this for, the pastor's birthday or something like that, So it is one of those things that it's a tricky situation when it comes to money and when it comes to, the church as well. So yeah, that's
Now I remember this prophet, okay? This prophet, he said that this lady came. All right, let me back up. So you can find this on YouTube. I don't know what you got to look it up under, but basically, this man, all right, this man was in church, and the prophet said that the Lord told him to tell a man to sow a $45,000 seed in his life. So the man is like, I don't know what God told you that. I ain't doing that. Right?
Right.
So he was like, okay, no problem. He was like, I know what the Lord said, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. So at the end of the service, the guy comes back to him and say, yo, did the Lord really told you to tell me to sow $45,000? He was like, I don't need your money. He said, this is what the Lord said. And he said, when you release this seed, watch what happens. He said, okay. He wrote him out a check, $45,000, right there on the spot. Now, $45,000, you had to hear from the Lord because people don't got money just to be writing out $45,000. All right, cool.
Money.
$45,000. He gave him $45,000. He said, I can't give you, this is before, he said, I can't give you the instructions until you give me the $45,000. And he was like, that's crazy. He was like, okay, cool. He gave him $40,000. He said, thus said the Lord that for the next such and such days, month, your life is going to be bad. But something's going to happen and you're going to get blessed. So the next week, he lost his house, right? He became homeless. The week after that, he was living on the streets, and he called him. He was like, I thought you said, the Lord said. He was like, listen, this is what the Lord said. Long story short, 2 months later, he had a father that was a king in Africa. He never knew who his father was. His father died and left him $20.5 million in US dollars. He became a millionaire. Now, why you told me all of this, Sean? I'm telling you that we can't put God in a box, and I do believe that God does tell people to sow certain seeds at certain times, like Kathy was saying. But to have a line full of $100 seeds, $200 seeds, $300 seeds, and then whoever have whatever else just come up. I don't believe in that. Absolutely not. But I do believe that God can use a man or a woman of God to tell you to sow a certain seed. And it's totally up to you to sow it, and they don't have the right to make you feel bad if you don't sow it. All they can do is say what the Lord tell them to say. So, hey, God told me to tell you to sow $25. If you don't want to sow it, that's fine, but I know what the Lord said. Period.
Right.
It's all about obedience.
It's all about obedience. And I used to be a big man. Me and my wife used to go through it in here on Titan, boy.
Right.
What you mean? No. I used to be in here fighting. No, who you sending it to? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But damn, man, been a different space of life, man, and I'm starting to understand and starting to get it a little bit, and I'm starting to become obedient in it, man. And it's thanks to my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And I just wanna encourage anybody that's watching this. If you believe in the Lord, my wife hit me in the head so crazy, yo, and I just never been the same. And this happened this year. She was like, "Yo, Sean," she was like, "How can you watch a movie for 2 hours and give God only 10 minutes?" 2 hours is almost 10% of your day. And you're only giving God a half a percentage a day. 1%, 2%, not even any percent.
Right.
So I just wanted to encourage whoever's watching this, try giving God 10% of your day. And I know it's hard to do, but even if you listen to music for an hour in a quiet place and just read a couple of scriptures, I mean, start working on to give 10% of your day. Because especially if you're watching movies, I used to be a movie watcher. I watch all movies. I mean, I used to be a Power fan. I watch Power. I watch BMF. I watch it all. But how can I invest my time in this TV show and watch 4 episodes back to back, which is come up to around 4 hours and change, and get on my knees for 1 minute and say, "Thank you so much for this day. I love you, Lord," and hang up.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a good. That's actually a good way of breaking down your day, because a lot of times, when you break down your day, especially for me, I would break it down from, okay, I gotta wake up, I gotta hit the gym, I gotta come home, get breakfast, go to work for the amount of hours I go, and then come home, I take a nap, or
2 hours.
do those things, and then okay, well, it's prayer time for dinner, prayer time for before you go to bed, and you kind of right, you look at it, man, that's 0.5% of your day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think kind of when you put it in perspective of how can you give God 10% of your day? And then you can kind of break it down and look at that. Okay, maybe I only have 30 minutes to devote in the morning time. Maybe an hour after work, and then an hour before you go to bed and things like that. So it kind of puts it in perspective of your breakdown of the day. Yeah, that's actually a good way to kind of think about it, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean, I stayed at Lenny's house for like a week and some change, Sean. And he worked 8 hours the entire time I was there. I don't know what he does for a living. I'm not telling the FBI nothing to look into it, but I'm just saying, bro. The man worked 8 hours the entire time I was there, man.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I wake up, he'll be leaving out for work. I go brush my teeth and come back, he'll be walking back in the door.
I'm gonna go ahead and edit that out of the live.
They ain't gonna get that up out of there. No, you know what you gotta clip. You gotta clip Sean not getting the change, man. You gotta.
Yo, that's probably the hardest I've laughed this year. Like that was, I got hot. Like I almost had to come up out of this.
I just
yo, that was crazy. Like my voice, I wasn't even screaming, but I lost my voice just now. That's a wild.
You gotta clip Sean because the quarter's so off guard.
Bro, I did not expect that. I didn't know where you was going with it. I thought it was gonna be.
Hold on, but let me ask you a question now, though, Sean. So when you go to church now, do you still go with 20s or you break them down? You got some 5s and some 10s now.
Yeah, I asked them if they got Cash App.
Yo, for real. That was a crazy bar. That was, man, that's crazy. I'm gonna tell everybody at work about that one tomorrow. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. Let me make sure.
I wanna say something before you end, Lenny.
Yep, go ahead.
I want to talk about the unforgiveness real quick.
Okay.
And how unforgiveness looks to people that won't forgive. Like the enemy will allow you to see he tortures people. So being that he tortures people, like he will show you and he'll present certain images in your head of that thing that you're not forgiving. So let's just say that it's someone that might have did something to you, maybe as a boyfriend or girlfriend, and they cheated on you or something like that. The enemy will put images in your head of them doing that, and it's harder for you to forgive because he's putting those images in your head, and it's like, yo, you can't forgive. Look at this. You can't forgive. He enjoyed this. Look at this. And the enemy is so crafty, he will make you not want to forgive because of those images, because he tortures people. So I just wanted to say that because the enemy is very crafty and we have to forgive. We have to forgive. It's a hard thing, and it's not a natural thing to do. You have to have the Lord to help you forgive when it comes to certain cases. And some things you can just do it and nip it in the bud, like right there on the spot, so it won't grow. Because the longer it grow, the harder it is to forgive. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that before we get off.
Yeah.
Hey, a sidebar real quick, Sean. With your hats, man, they all snapbacks or they fitted or
those snapbacks that I put on, I got like 150 hats, man. I gotta get rid of, man.
Do you
I got
ship?
a lot of them. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you send me the inventory, please? I need a few of them.
Yes, sir. I wear 7 5/8 or 7 3/4.
I ain't gonna say it, but everybody's thinking it. I wear
Yo, son. Yo, you made me pass out, son. Yo, I lost consciousness.
Yo, oh man.
So I guess fitness is out for me. So can I get? Let me get the inventory on the snapbacks, man, and send me some prices, man. I'll make a couple purchases, man. I need you to ship them on up here to me, man.
I got you, son.
That was
no Diddy.
No Diddy.
All right, yeah, that was a while. So I was gonna kind of leave it off on forgiveness. Luke 6, it kind of talked about Luke 6 verse 37, it kind of talked about do not judge and you will not be judged, do not condemn and you will not be condemned, forgive and you will be forgiven. And kind of what Sean was kind of speaking on before at the end, and kind of like what we've been talking about this whole episode is just find it in your heart to forgive, even though it's a very hard thing to do at times. And I just encourage you. That's one of the things that I struggle with as well. But through scripture and through asking the Lord to change your heart posture, you will find a way to forgive. I appreciate everyone for stopping through on this on a Wednesday. I know we normally don't do it on a Wednesday, so hopefully y'all didn't get burnt out, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll put it out what time and everything, and hope to see y'all tomorrow, and we'll have more conversation. All right, peace, love y'all.
Yes, no pressure. Look how God done bless you. Come on. Wonder why I'm feeling extra. Say what it do, what the business is. Folk running over what the devil saying. Shoes, pants, chest, shoulders. Get up, off me, don't get closer. It ain't over, till it's over. Game breaker, big joker. Jesus like don't trip, finna make the boat tip. Set the tone with that ice cold, but I won't slip. In my bag like road trip. Switch stands, do my dance, dog, he really don't miss.